Hi, for this assignment we're going to use Photoshop, part of Adobe Creative Cloud Suite, to create an infographic. So the infographic can be on any element of e-safety, netiquette, how to stop cyberbullying, anything like that. You choose the topic and you're looking for three top tips for how to achieve that. And you're going to illustrate it however you see fit. This is to be used as part of the school's Internet Safety Day marketing campaign. So I'm going to go to Creative Cloud and open it up, and then go to Photoshop and open that up. Photoshop takes a long time to launch, so rather do that early and then go and check your emails or anything else that you want to do. No, seriously, it can take a long time to set up. So once Photoshop has launched, I told you it took a long time to set up. So once Photoshop has launched, you can click on the new file. So if I click on new file here, you'll notice it gives me the option from clipboard. So clipboard is if I've copied a picture. So I've right clicked on a picture, gone copy picture, and now it's sitting on my clipboard. It'll open up a document the same size as that picture if you want to edit a picture, for example. Or you can choose various custom sizes that you've created, or the default Photoshop size. I'm going to go to this custom one there, and then just move myself down here a bit, and I can edit this. So the width, it doesn't have to be in centimeters, you can measure it in pixels as well. But the width, let's say I want it by 10 by, maybe not quite as long and thin, so 10 by 15. The resolution, no need to change that really. That's how many pixels are in, it's normally measured in pixels per inch, I think. So this is about 300. For screen resolution, 72 is fine. But putting it to 300 pixels per inch is quite good quality for printing in a magazine or something. You might want to do that. You can keep it RGB color. Grayscale is if it's black and white. So if you notice that it's everything's black and white, you're going to need to change it to RGB color, unless that's what you want, of course. CMYK is cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, and it's used for printing. But RGB is what's used on a computer screen. The different pixels have red, green, or blue pixels, and the mixture of that can be used to create any color. Your background can be either white, black, put in a background color, or you can make it transparent, which gives you some options of having bits of your background image transparent. So I always like to choose that one. The color profile, I don't know what that is, square pixels, or I don't know. I'm going to keep that the default because it suits most users most of the time, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. Click Create, and it goes ahead and it creates your canvas. This checkerboard shows you that it's a transparent background. Otherwise you'd see a white background or a colored background. I'll just move myself here. We'll be using layers. Now layers allow you to do different things in each layer. So if it's like having a stack of transparencies, one above the other, and you can see through them because the layers are transparent. So you can see through one layer into the layer behind. Whatever you do within a layer affects that layer. So it's always good to have a new thing on a new layer. In fact, that's the basic rule of Photoshop. You want to do something new, add a new layer to it. And that gives you the maximum control. It's not like using MS Paint. For example, in MS Paint, you've got one layer. If you delete something, it deletes everything there. You can't kind of delete something in a layer, but all the other layers are unaffected. So my layer one, I'm going to make a background layer. And I can decide what to do with that background. I could put a picture in the background, for example. Or I could just have a colored background. Now to get a colored background, you've got your color scheme here. That's the foreground color and that's the background color. So if I go and click on that paint bucket and I just click inside there, it'll change it that solid color. If I want a gradient, if you right click on the toolbar, you'll notice you've got a selection. Any of these items, if you right click, you'll see a selection of tools. So I've right clicked on the paint bucket and I'm going to use a gradient. And you'll notice the gradient will go from my foreground color to my background color. So if I want to change that background color, maybe to something like that, I've now got between the blue and the green. I've selected on the gradient, and you can notice how it works. You drag it across the screen and it kind of creates a colored gradient between the foreground and the background color. A short one will create a steep gradient, a steep change. A long one will create a more gentle change. And the direction from foreground to background is based on where you are clicking it. So if I go like that, it'll create something like that. Now let me do something like that. So that's my background layer. Now what I want to do is I want to put in a heading, and my heading is going to say rules for netiquette. So I need to go to my text tool to add some text. Okay, as you can see there. So if I click on the text tool and then I just go click anywhere, you'll notice it's added its own layer. So for text, you don't need to add a new layer. It adds its own layer for the text. And it's saying lorem ipsum. I need to replace that, so I just select it and I'm just going to say rules for netiquette. And if I go Control A again, I can go up here to the top of my toolbar, because that's the tool I'm in. The properties here are for that tool, and I can get most of the tools here. For example, I can go and select a font face. So if I want to use Onyx, for example, I can change regular. Some ones don't allow you to. So let me choose something more basic like Calibri. And then you'll notice I've got things like bold or bold italic, stuff like that. Sharp, I can use strong or something like that. I'm not quite sure what those do. And I can center it, and I can change the color. So if I click select color, I can go and choose a color. I'm going to choose a sort of goldy orangey color. And I think I want to make it a little bit bigger. Make it nice and big, 36, say. And then I can just move that with my mouse to fill the top of that page. Obviously, if I wanted it to be like that, I just go to between the 4 and the N and I just went enter. And because it's clicked on center, it will center it nicely. I think that's a bit flippant. Rules for netiquette. I'll use it like that. Now, one thing you can do with text, which is quite nice, is if you go into your layer, so this is your layer box in the corner here, bottom right hand corner. If you go to where it says T and you go on the line on the outside and you just go click somewhere there, it opens up a layer style window. And you can do things, for example, like if you go bevel and emboss, do you notice that the text becomes kind of like beveled, shaped, it becomes a bit more 3D. If I click drop shadow, it kind of gives it a drop shadow behind, which makes it more 3D. And you can go and you can make all kinds of changes. If you like, see what they do. If you like them, click them. If you don't, take them away again. And you just click OK when you're happy. So now I've got my main heading page. I want to produce a little image now. And the image is of a head, so this is the person basically speaking these rules for netiquette. But let me kind of let me go and get that first. So to make a new layer, it's a new thing, so I need a new layer. I go to the plus sign, so this is the bottom right, on my layers tab here, click on the plus just before the dustbin. I'm sure you know what the dustbin does. If you don't want a layer, you make sure you clicked on the layer and you just click on the dustbin and it deletes it. So I'm clicking on the plus here to make a new layer, and this will be for my avatar. And my avatar is going to go here. Do you notice that I'm naming all my layers? Very important to name your layers, and the reason for naming your layers is when you've got lots of them, then you'll know what's in each layer. Trust me, that becomes very important. And you'll notice the text shows what the text is, and it shows the effects. So you can see exactly what's going on. Oh, by the way, if you want to hide a layer, you just click on the little eye and it disappears. Click on the square and it puts the eye back. It shows you the layer. So you can hide layers to see what's in each layer. It's another way of doing it. So for my avatar layer, I'm going to go and need to find an avatar on the internet. So I'm going to pause while So here we are again. I've gone into oldsearch.creativecommons.org because these are Creative Commons images, which means I have copyright. So I can use these. It's for commercial use, and I'm allowed to modify and adapt these images. So I'm going to look for an image of a girl talking. So she's giving the tips, if you like. So I'm going to click on Google Images. So it searches Google Images. And here we go. I'm going to use one of these. I'm looking for something with a solid background, which I can remove easily. And I don't know. Let me choose this one. So I decide to use this one. So I go right click and I go copy image. I can then just reduce that. I'm in my avatar layer. I'm clicked here. So if I go not right click, if I go Control V, it pastes that in. And now I just need to remove that background. So I can do that with the eraser tool. If I click on the magic eraser, it removes whole blocks of color at a time. And you can control the tolerance here. So 32 is a high tolerance, so it removed quite a lot of the color. If you have a lower tolerance, then it removes bits of the color and you might have to click a few times. So you can play with that to adjust. Now she's a little bit small, so I'm going to go click on Edit, Transform, Scale, and I'm just going to make her a little bit bigger and drop her into the corner here. So she's talking and the points will be here. If I click on the movement tool or something, that it then applies that change and it sits there in the corner. So that's the first part of our infographic. I'm going to create another video for the next bit, which is adding our list of tips.